to you by Hepius, the #1 place to go for premium CBD that's not going to break the bank. It's locally owned and sourced here in Utah, and it is safe for work, meaning there is no THC, so you don't have to stress about that if you're worried about it. They have something for everyone, and I'm personally using the #2 broad spectrum. Love it. Use it every single day. Head over to hepiusmed.com. That is HEPIUSMED.com. Chris, welcome back, brother.
Heck yeah, thanks for having me back.
Oh, so it's been, I was just checking out, you were here about 2 months ago, right?
Heck yeah.
And we covered a lot. We did what, 3 hours?
For real, it was the longest interview I think ever.
Yeah, and it was great. Like I loved every minute of it.
Every minute.
I really felt like I had great reception from everyone who watched it live. You know, the video.
What kind of feedback did you get from it?
Fantastic, dude. Everyone loved you as a guest, and like,
heck yeah.
You know, it's that whole mentality of there's just not a lot of really good people out there anymore. And everyone I talked to, like, dude, Chris sounds like that was a great episode. He's a good fucking dude. I'm like, dude, he is. You guys don't even know the half of it. Don't even know the half of it. So yeah, the reception was fantastic. And
heck yeah.
You know, we even, God, I'm trying to think of everything we covered. We covered Jackie Chan.
For real.
Which is exciting. We covered the Princess Diana's dress, covering Kanye. We dabbled into Caskey, which we'll get into tonight. That's been going crazy for you.
For real.
Paranormal, Iris Place. Am I pronouncing that right? Yeah.
Yeah, Iris Place.
Iris Place.
Heck yeah.
How's business been for you?
Oh man, it's been awesome. I'm surprised, you know, we're still booming through the pandemic and the winter and everything. So I'm just grateful for our loyal customers and the people who are still finding us out and don't know anything about us till today, you know.
Yeah.
So, and I've been in there a little bit more often than usual. So I've actually got to interact with the customers, and they're like, "Who are you? You know, I've never seen you before." And I'm like, "Oh, I've been here the whole time." Just usually on the internet, you know, advertising and everything. But yeah, so it's real cool to see all the happy, smiling people. And it was funny, one of our customers came in today, and he was like, "Hey, when are you guys going to start getting the art classes going again?" Because he's like, "My child, you know, really loves doing art and is really into superheroes and everything you guys are about, you know." And he was like, you know, he's getting bullied at school and doesn't really have a fun outlet, you know, besides being at home and stuff. And I was like, yeah, actually, we're, you know, getting ready to gear it up again. You know what I'm saying? Reach back out to, you know, our in-house artists and get art classes going again, you know, and have something fun to do for the kids and grown-ups and community. So I'm like, just can't wait to it seems like winter's hopefully almost over here in Utah, but you just never know.
Dude, it's been such a weird one. Like it was starting to get warm, and I'm like, okay, cool, like we can finally get back to like chilling outside, enjoying like the weather, and then next thing you know, we get a week of full snow, and then I don't know, but I think we needed it because
it's not as horrific as it was last year. I'll never forget last year for the rest of my life, as horrific as that snow was. And then the earthquakes.
Dude.
Don't forget about the earthquakes.
Last year was the weirdest year.
Wow. Oh, yeah. 2020 was last year.
Yeah, 2020. We survived.
How could we ever forget that year?
We survived 2020.
You know what?
But we did.
For real. Matter of fact, I always kept telling myself that the end of last year I was going to get a t-shirt that said I survived 2020. And I've yet to do it. I'm about to do that like ASAP because we literally survived 2020.
You know, I was having a conversation with someone the other day, and like a really weird perspective to think about. We survived and went through a year that will be talked about for the rest of human history. Like they will study 2020 not only for like the politics, the movements, the earthquakes, the weather, but the pandemic, like
the fire tornado.
Yeah, the fire tornado.
The bees.
The killer bees.
The killer bees. Everything was trying to kill us.
Dude, 2020.
The weather, the animals, the earth. Like, it's wild.
It's gonna be weird, like, you know, 50 years from now when we're old, retired, and living the life, and you know, we see these kids talking about like, man, you guys survived 2020. Did you get COVID?
For real. Like a lot of years had a lot of things that happened in them, but I don't know too much more of an eventful year than 2020. I mean, major sports were shut down across the board. Like it was the first year there, wasn't, championships and just like all kinds of things that just, happened that never happened in human history and obviously altered the course of human history forever.
For sure. That is a weird one to think about, is like what does it look like if 2020 was like even just like semi-normal? Like even if we cut out the pandemic, like what did 2020 look like for us?
For real.
Like it would have been, I don't know. It's one of those things though, right? Like I think you have to try and find silver linings in all the
Oh yeah, you gotta find the joy in suffering, and I think the silver lining to it, is, I think there's a couple things. I think at least for one, people have the time, now, because a lot of people are like, I don't have the time to read a book or, paint or study filmography or be a lawyer or whatever, and now, it's like you had over a year to really, find out what makes you happy and stuff. So, and then, and it's crazy too that I think the travel thing was just wild because it got shut down, but still you could travel some. Like last year, I traveled more in my life ever than I did any other year in my whole life, and I didn't get COVID. I went to a 2-day music festival in the desert. It was around like almost 400 people, and been in different states on planes, and just everything. So I don't know, it's wild time.
Right. Well, I definitely think that it's one of those ones like I think that kind of how we look back on different time periods like the Renaissance and like the big movements in human history. I think 2020 is going to be one of those where a lot of people realize like A, there's a lot of problems in society, and B, it's not impossible to chase your dreams.
For real.
Because I see so many more people because of COVID, because of either, having to be quarantined, or they're starting to realize like how much time we really do have and how much time is wasted doing shit that's not important. And like I don't care what anyone says, you can be whatever you want to be.
For real. Especially if you just focus in on it and take the time. And I think with everything calming down and giving people that time, they've had that time to more focus on hopefully what they really love, and then have the time to actively pursue it. Because when you're trying to pursue something that you love pre-COVID, it was hard. Everything was always moving, hustling and bustling, and stuff always going on. But now it's like with your schedule clear for who knows how long, more than what it used to be. A lot of people aren't going on vacations, they're not traveling, they're not going out to eat,
right,
not going out to movies, so they got more money, and hopefully people are investing that money into things that will make them more money, and kind of get out of the rat race. A lot of people are waking up to a lot of truths, and really like, I think there's like a really collective movement going on right now, with information and people being at home more and being on the internet more and being able to look into things more. A lot of people are working from home now. A lot of jobs, sent them home if they can work on a computer. So, there's not that driving time. So as soon as you're off work, boom, you're home.
Right.
You got time to look into stuff, and question things. And it's like, this thing with GME and GameStop with the stock market really, revolutionized a lot of things, where a lot of people get together on Reddit and was like, hey, and then changed, history, and boom, overnight, drove up the stock.
Yep.
That's like, if they could do that once, they could do it again. And back in the day, it was hard to get in the stock market. You had to be rich and powerful and have connections. Now, if you got a cell phone and download a couple of apps, you can get invested into it too, and there's different schools out there that have mentors that teach you how to do it. You can do live trades with them, so it's like copy paste profit. It's not that hard. So
we do have a comment. Marcel, I would like to apologize for your loss. I don't think that we're trying to play down the fact that COVID wasn't terrible. I think we're just trying to find the good and the evil, the good and the bad.
For real. Like in Buddhism, you gotta enjoy the suffering. Like if you're in jail or something's happening to you, a hurricane took your house or something, what are you gonna do? Sit around and, you know, eventually you gotta pick yourself up and make the best out of it. You know what? You know. So yeah, hopefully people made the most out of this time out of COVID. You know.
And for everyone who had a rough patch to deal with, because I mean, I have people that I know who, you know, had relatives that passed away, and you know, I hope that they're able to find, I don't know, it was a tough time. Like I said, 2020 was a fucking brutal ass year.
For real. I lost my dad in November of last year.
Yeah.
That was wild.
Yeah, I know, you told me about that. It's
for real, right before Christmas and everything. It's just like, how could it get worse? That's why I never ask, you know. But
right.
I think at least he got to go the way he wanted to at home, and my mom, and I got to visit him a couple of times, so I'm thankful for that. But
yeah,
for real,
it's a, like I said, we'll look back when we're, you know, 50, 60, 70 years old and be like, man, what a year.
For real. And like so many businesses were lost, and for the businesses that made it through, it's like, man, if you make it through COVID, you make it through anything. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And then like you said, like I think it's a great opportunity now for business too, because it's like the Great Depression. Things were shut down for 2 years, but then after the 2 years, what happened? The Roaring 20s. You know what I'm saying? Like everyone's ready to go out and blow money fast and have a good time. So it's like it's not gonna be like this forever. No. You know?
What's up, Dalton? Good seeing you, my guy.
Hey fam, what's up?
Love Dalton, good guy.
For real, real good. Congratulations on your progress. Been watching you, fam. Proud of you.
Yeah, absolutely.
For real.
No, I think that if anything, to take away from 2020, humans are stronger than we thought we were. Because I remember that first like February, March of 2020 when like the panic started hitting.
Oh yeah.
And like everyone really started freaking out, but we were able to gain composure. Like there was people who really thought that was doomsday time. Like it was time to like go get as much stuff as you can, and let's hope.
For real, did we run out of toilet paper for a week or something?
Yeah, dude. I remember seeing videos of people fighting in the store for toilet paper, and you know, I'll be honest with you, I fell for the. Well, I don't want to say fell, but like I was definitely a part of the craze a little bit. Like I went and got like boxes of ramen and, you know, canned goods and stuff because I'm like, dude, what if? You know, what if? I mean, I don't want to be the one who's not prepared.
For real.
Oh, B Bert, shout out. Said good things from 2020. I got engaged to my best friend, XOXO. That's my fiance. B Bert's my fiance. So.
Heck yeah.
Shouts out.
That's what's up.
So I want to hear, apart from COVID and all the sad and the good, what is going on with you and Caskey lately? Because if you guys aren't familiar with who he is, you guys need to hop on board. If you listen to rap, hip-hop, anything in that genre.
For real.
I mean, I really think that he has the potential and the drive to be like the next big thing in the music industry.
For real. Me too. That's why I'm like so excited and so tuned in to everything that he's doing. I mean, I always have been. The ones that have, you know, been following him, I think always knew he'd be big. But yeah, it's like this is feels like his year. You know, he's really popping off and making big moves and just working hard constantly. I mean, that's why I respect him is, you know, he keeps it real and he's just working hard, you know, and he's not out there promoting gang violence, guns and drugs and, you know, all this wild ass shit, you know what I'm saying? He's, you know, like a true artist, you know, and he does hip hop, he does rap, he does R&B, he does like metal rock. He's got 2 poetry books, he paints, has a clothing line, like he's a real artist. And then it was so amazing because back in November, me and my wife got to interview him at our restaurant, and he had just got off the plane from working with Yelawolf for the first time, and it was just so amazing because I know he's always wanted to work with him, and for him to finally accomplish that, you know, it's so beautiful. And then since then, it's like it almost seems like almost every day, you know, those two are either in the studio together or having an album release party, or you know, I think it was the #2 pre-sale in the world, and then the #1 rap album even right now as we speak. And hats off to the whole team, you know, everyone that worked on it. Tasty beats and legit looks, and money bag montage, and man, just, you know, all the people that, you know, put into everything. It's just amazing body of work. This new album that came out, it's like every song is a banger. Just the intro is called just the intro because everyone's like, this is just the intro? Like, right. This is hard. Like,
no, there's something about the Slumerican team too. Like, all those guys are just, not only are they super talented, but it's not like this push for the violence, you know?
For real.
And I think the coolest thing about Caskey for me, like, I didn't know about him until you. So I'm a very new
Exactly, and that's what I thought was funny is I wasn't familiar with Catfish Billy, you know, Wolf, you know, until Caskey, which is kind of funny because he's on the, you know, spectrum of, you know, being more well known and everything. Right. So it's funny how that works out, you know. Some I wonder on Wolf's side how many new fans he got from Caskey that are like, you know, never even knew of him, you know, really, you know. Or
I think the thing that I really like about him a lot is if you guys look up a picture of him, right, like fully tatted, you know, but is so, like, he's breaking the stereotypes, right? Because we still have stereotypes in 2021, which is terrible, but like, he's breaking the mold. He's making, like, a guy who's fully tatted, like, it's a good, it doesn't make who you are.
Yeah.
You know,
it shouldn't be a negative stereotype, you know, or, it's like, and what I love about him is, since I've been following him, like, his clothing line, like, he makes his clothes, and he went to a laundromat and just, like, took over the whole damn laundromat and put the clothes in there with muddy water, and then we cut them up and everything, and it's like, that's real art. That's real. You know, it's like one thing to, you know, get merch from their online store, but he goes and, like, puts muddy water in it and cut it up, putting his energy into it. You know what I'm saying? That's a whole nother level. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I want to be like. You know, that's why I'm doing my own clothing line label, and I aspire to be like Caskey and be like something different, but be real personal and stuff. But then I see what Wolf's doing, and like, damn, I want to, you know, make my shit so personal. You know what I'm saying? That, you know, I don't even know if I want to have my stuff mass produced that you could buy at Kmart or Walmart, because I'm not a machine. I can't make a shitload of shit. But if there's a way I could personally be there to you know, touch a lot of it that's coming off of it and putting stuff on it, but I just love art in all its forms. Caskey just made like a couple limited editions of some wallets, and I got one before they sold out. For real, it's so cool. It's like, you know, I was like, damn, that's so awesome. That's a great idea. Put art on a wallet because that's leather. It'll last forever. You know what I'm saying? And it was cool because mine, he put a dinosaur on it, and he only made like, I don't even know, like maybe 7 of them or something. But yeah, it's like I'm like now become like some kind of like representative or agent for him out here, you know, that's like, you know, he's making a lot of moves, and so, like, you know, people need features from him or want to do a music video with them or something like that. You know, it's like a lot of people are realizing that it's like, I've been saying this for a couple of years now, you know, you would have got a feature from him a few weeks ago, it would have been one thing, but now it's double since, you know, the album dropped. So, and he's been telling y'all. So.
Yeah, that's the thing that I like the most from watching your interactions with him is, like, you've legit been telling everyone for, like, I don't even know how long. Like, hey, you guys this guy needs to be on your radar. Like, this guy's the shit.
This is a rap and rock star at the same damn time.
And then
like
now,
a folk legend.
Now that he is exactly what you knew he was, everyone's like, hey man, like, why don't you get me in touch? And you're like, wow, where were you, you know, 3 fucking years ago, bud?
For real.
It's just, it's cool to see that transformation, though. I think that having more guys like him in the limelight are just going to be super positive.
For real, because the music industry's craving for something different than just your standard, industry, mold and stereotype and everything. And that's what I love about him. Like, one of my favorite songs is Voice of God. And, the lyrics are something like, I heard the voice of God and he said, be yourself. And then he's like, I heard the voice of God and she said, be yourself, and it's like, and I made you the way you are, and things like that. It's just so beautiful, and so it's like a different breath and energy than what we're used to in hip hop and rap. And it's like in no other genre of music do artists get murdered than hip hop and rap. Like, you don't see that happen in country and jazz and all this other stuff. So it's like, that's why I'm so grateful that he's not one of those people that advocate gang violence and all that shit. Yeah, you might see him with a bazooka in a music video or something, but what rapper doesn't? But he's not out there gang banging and throwing up signs and all this shit. So it's like it's refreshing. Like I said, it's not just rap, it's rock and R&B and just beautiful. So
that's what I love about, because I don't even know I don't think you can put him or even Yelawolf or any of those guys in like a genre, like
for real.
I know
box like
because it's so vastly different. Like,
and then for them to combine, it's just like
because like a lot of people will say Yelawolf is a rapper, but like if you go listen to his last album, I think he has some of the best country music I've heard in like the past 10 years.
Yeah,
like Whiskey in a Bottle. I don't even like country music, and I fucking listen to that song, and it's awesome to see, because like I think Post Malone, whether your opinion is positive or negative, he's still one of those, like, I look at him as a good guy in the industry because he's positive, he's nice to people, he interacts with fans, he's not like negative or pushing violence, but he's also trying to break that mold of like, hey, I can make these pop songs, but I can also make emotional R&B, or I can make rock, or I can make country. Like he says he wants to do his next album is going to be country.
Heck yeah.
And and I like seeing that from artists who can be multi-faceted in their art, because it shows how truly talented they are. And I think Caskey is one of those people.
For real.
I think that 3 years from now we're going to look back at his discography and we're going to be like, Jesus Christ, like he is so, like he can do a little bit of everything.
For real. And then there's so much unreleased music. If you follow him on Instagram all the times and see all the stuff that he hasn't released and stuff, it's like, oh my gosh, imagine if you got all that out too. It's like, and that's what I love about him and people that I look up to, that when I look up to people, it's mainly just their work ethic, and I think that's why people respect me, is just my work ethic. I just like to work and not only, and not just, you don't maybe have to work all the time to be successful, but it's also about how you work and how you move, and especially in these industries. And it's, it can be really hard to try and stay true and, to yourself. But at the end of the day, it's so much more worth it, because you just learn that the more you are yourself, the people that don't align with your vision and your dreams are just gonna, move away and fade away, and the people that are about what you're about will attract to you. It will naturally just start coming to you if you just stay true to it. You know what I'm saying? But if you try and fit in or lie to be cool, or whatever, just
I couldn't agree more with that, because like there's, in the podcasting world, everyone has a podcast now. And it's so easy to tell the ones who are in it for the wrong reasons. And same thing, I imagine, with the music industry. How many people, we know Utah has a huge DJ scene and a huge music scene now. And, like, how many people go in it and get, like, super bummed out because the money's not there yet. And it's like, if you could walk in and make money day one, everyone would be fucking doing it.
For real.
And it's definitely, I see you grinding more than anyone I know.
Heck yeah, free shit means a lot.
You're out there fucking busting ass. But I agree with you. Like there's that line of like, hey, I'm grinding hard as fuck, and I'm busting my ass, but I need to have some fun too.
For real.
You know, I need to go be in music videos. You know, have some fun like you're doing. And
for real,
I think that if you guys aren't following Chris yet, like, you guys need to fucking get on board, because it's just it's positive. I have never seen one of your posts yet where I'm like, oh fuck, that's a bummer. Like, you're just not. I don't know if you're ever negative. I don't know.
For real.
You know, do you have a bad day? I don't know. Fuck.
For real.
But I couldn't agree with you more. The more that you become your unique self, and the more that you just are genuine to, like, you, and you can look in the mirror and you're like, I'm happy with that person.
For real.
You'll attract that same energy, and then the boat, like, the tide rises with the boat. You know, like, you'll just level up, your friends will level up, like, your crew levels up, and everyone starts getting even more happy and more ambitious, and more opportunities arise, and next thing you know, you're living your dream.
Exactly. And then once that happens, it's like, man, it was all worth it.
Yeah.
All the hard work, all the sleepless nights, because people see the success, but they don't see all the shit you got to go through, because a lot of times, especially us in the entertainment industry, it's hard to show that side.
Yeah.
Because then people judge you even more, you know, and put you down and talk shit or whatever, you know. So it's always, you know, you got to try to portray this nice, good image and stuff. And so that's why it's like, you know, it's been nice, because recently I've been able to, like, reveal more of, like, my life that's, like, you know, it wasn't so squeaky clean, you know, and I went through a lot of shit, you
right.
know, physically, mentally, you know, all kinds of shit. So, you know, it's good to, like, you know, get it out and off my chest, because it was, you know, scary, but I felt so much better. And then the people that reached out to me that have been through similar situations were like, oh, you know, I really, you know, enjoyed hearing that, because you sounded more like a survivor than a victim. And then they would tell me, like, what they've been through, and, you know, how it was similar and stuff. And it was like, oh man, you know, it's a lot less, I should have been a lot less scared and should do a lot earlier, you know. And so it's just like, yeah, it's just been a wild ride. And I feel like I feel like I'm rich, and I feel like I finally made it, because, you know, I'm getting paid to do what I love and everything, and I just have enough to pay my bills, and have enough money left over to, you know, have gas and food. You know, I'm not, like, you know, making $1 million a year or anything, but I feel like I am. You know, I'm happy.
Right.
You know, and that's why I just tell people, it's just, I saw this quote the other day, and I'm like, I attribute, I think, a lot of my success to that mindset, that it was like, why worry when you can believe, you know? And, like, and that's what I just always did. My cleaning company, entertainment company, our restaurant. It's like, yeah, you know, shit looks bad, you know, for a lot of months, don't even know if you're going to pay the bills, whatever. But as long as you believe and you try and everything, it's like, that's the whole point of having your dream come true, is you got to try, you got to make the effort, you got to take those baby steps, you know what I'm saying? And then I've looked into a lot of people that have went viral and made it overnight, and they're like, you know, a lot of people think, oh, I gotta go viral, that's the key. And it's like, no, that's not the key. The key is having a good team around you. There's people that go viral and get 1 million followers overnight, but if they don't got a team to help them, it don't mean shit.
Yeah, you could pop off and be the next big, like, I don't want to name drop anyone, but you could, like you said, you could go viral, but if you don't have a foundation, what
do you do with it?
Yeah, what's next?
Well, now you're gone.
Yeah.
You know, you didn't keep up with their son, or some management will try and come in and have you sign your life away, and they tell you what to do for the rest of your life, or something like that. So,
and we live in such a time period where, like, everything is, so if you don't, like, I don't want to disrespect this person, but, like, someone like 420 Dogface, you know, who did the ocean spray video, and it went viral on TikTok and stuff. Did you ever see that one? He was riding a longboard, and he had a bottle of ocean spray, which is like fruit juice, and he was listening to I can't think, like, the Fleetwood Mac, and the video went viral. Like, everyone covered it, BuzzFeed, news stations, because it just was like, it was right in the middle of the pandemic, and he was just so wholesome. He's just this happy guy. His name's 420 Dogface. Like, he kind of looks like he'd be, like, you know, into rap and hip hop, and he's just so happy, and he went viral. And he's an example of someone who rolled with it properly. But I see people who go viral, and they just don't know where to follow up with, because they don't have a base. They don't have, like, they don't have a team. They don't have a vision. They don't know what happens next. And I think that's the biggest thing is like anyone I talk to who is either trying to make it in music or podcasting or any entertainment or running a business, like there's a vision. People don't wing it, you know? And there's steps to take. There's processes you have to create and follow if you really want to do it. Like if you go viral and great, that's an amazing opportunity, but you cannot plan to go viral.
Yeah.
You know, you can't just be like, this is going to be the one that goes viral. That's not how it works.
Yeah, and that's where a lot of people miss out because they're afraid to do stuff because they're like, is it going to be sensational enough? Or people going to like it enough? Or whatever. It's like, who cares? Just create content. Put it out. It'll get better eventually. A lot of people are like, oh, we don't want to put out yet, you know, or whatever. You know, it's like, you know, yeah, you can take time and make it look good, but it's also about consistency is key. And that's the new currency. So the more you start getting it out there, the more you start keeping it out there. You want to keep it rolling, you know, and don't stop. Because then, you know, what was the whole point of starting it?
Yeah. That's the thing that breaks my heart with so many people that I know who are like, they either have this amazing idea or they have this like untapped potential or untapped passion, but they just feel like everything needs to be perfect.
Yeah.
No one in any industry is perfect. Joe Rogan, for example, for podcasting. Go back and watch his first 200 episodes and tell me, you can't look me in the eye and be like, that's the perfect podcast. Because it wasn't.
Yeah.
It wasn't. You know, go back and look at what's a popular rapper right now that we haven't covered. Go back and look at, I don't know, that was maybe a bad example, but someone in music industry, go back and look at their first album. Like non public album.
Well, that's
go
why
look at their
see,
EPs.
Yeah, that's why you'll see a lot of like nowadays a lot of Instagram, you know, musicians or rappers or something. Once they hit a certain point, they'll go and delete all their social media posts.
Yeah.
And then they'll start all over again, you know, because it was, you know, looked pretty horrific.
Yeah.
You know? But who cares? It's the point that you did it to now. You got to that professional level, but you're not going to get to that professional level if you don't throw a sign up on the wall and start fucking recording. You know,
it really is like I can't tell people enough. Like baby steps, like you said, and just do it. Just consistency is key. Like there's no other way about it. There's no other way to break it down. If you are consistent and you're passionate and you're genuine, whatever you're putting your energy into will pan out.
For real. And with the baby steps, it makes you feel so much less anxiety and stress because you really forget how keep it simple, stupid, kiss things can be. You know what I'm saying? You get back to the basics and you're like, holy shit, it's just so simple. But you're just so clouded with all the distractions and all the bullshit. So it's like, that's what's been kind of nice with COVID, to kind of have the time to, you know, have time to get more focused on things. Because then when you get focused, it's just like, the sky's the limit, you know?
It really is. And I think that fear is really a interesting thing. And I just, you know, I don't know if we just got programmed to be so afraid of things like this, like so afraid to chase our dreams. Because, like, you know, we grew up in the same kind of era as far as, like, we follow this line of, like, elementary, junior high, high school, college, your dreams are made. But then we started realizing, like, what if I just don't want to go to college? And it's almost like we were programmed to think, well, if we don't follow that, we can't reach our dreams. Yeah. When the reality is, like, that's the polar opposite.
Yeah.
And as we were talking about people waking up, like, a lot of people are waking up to that fact that, like, you don't have to go to college to open a business. You don't have to go to college to make content. You don't have to go to college to open up a fucking anything.
Yeah.
You know? You don't have to if you don't want to, and you don't need to be afraid.
I think it's only like a very few professions require you to go to college, like if you want to be an architect or, you know, certain things, but other than that, everything else is wide open.
Yeah, if your dream is to be a CPA, yeah, go to college. That's your direction. But if your dream is to open up a business and you want to sell stickers, you don't have to follow that traditional path.
For real, it's so simple. It's like, who's your favorite rapper? Lil Wayne? Start making Lil Wayne stickers.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, his fans are buying your shit, and one day he might shout you out.
Yeah.
And then boom, you got 250,000 Is either what we said or the vibration of what we said.
Oh, we're back. To go into that, if you're to catch where we're up, because I don't know where we lost connection. Age is not. Don't think you're too old to do anything, but we're live streaming on Twitch. The most popular people on Twitch are a lot older than you think they are.
Yeah.
You know, like Tim the Tap Man. He ain't in his 20s, guys. But you know what he's been doing? He's been grinding since he's been in his 20s.
For real. A lot of people think I look like I'm 24 and I'm not. I don't really like to talk about my real age, but I'm not as young as I look. But I think it's because I stay positive. I do cold showers and swim in cold pools but yeah, it's just like it's never too late. And the more you get into it, the more you're going to advance, the more you're going to learn. Because it's so funny, like whenever you get into something, you think you have these ideas, and then a year later, you're so much like, man, I'm glad I didn't do that, you know? Or you're so much more educated, and then a year later, and that's why it's just like, it doesn't matter what you're into and how much you don't know anything about it. That might scare you, but like what scares me excites me, because it's like I get so excited, because then once you conquer that fear, then now you're like, oh, I'm not afraid to do this anymore. Yeah. You know, and then it's just like, okay, and then once you master it, you're like, all right, let me move on to something else that scares me and excites me. And
to go off of that, I saw a quote that I love. It says, if you're comfortable, you're not in a long-term situation.
For real.
Because like, listen, comfort, in my opinion, and I've talked about this before, is the #1 killer for ambition, dreams, desire, anything.
Oh, yeah.
If you get too comfortable, you're going to give up. Because comfort is easy.
Yeah.
You know, if you're making enough money and like you have your house or whatever it is, you feel like you're like, oh, this is nice, and you get comfortable, time starts flying by really fast, and those dreams and ambitions that you wish you would have start like becoming in your head. You're gonna be like, oh, am I getting too old? No, you're not. But that's the programming we have.
For real. And to really be rich and successful, and not that you have to be rich to be successful or to be happy, but like if you want to have a comfort zone for your money, you want to have more than just one income coming in. Yes. Because you could have a very successful company and wake up the next day and boom, it's all gone. And now you're back to square one, scrambling how to pay bills and taxes and all this. Well, if you have 4 other streams of income coming in and one goes down, okay, you know, you don't have to scramble and, you know, get back to working for someone else or whatever, you know. Now it's like, all right, let me figure something out, but you still got 3 things coming in of money still. Yep. So, you know, if you just get comfortable and be like, oh, I got a successful computer company, or, you know, I got a successful company, you know, that's great, you know, but what's your backup plan, you know?
And I think harkening back to 2020, we saw that a lot. Where, you know, the people, and, you know, don't get me wrong, it's heartbreaking to see people who put everything into a business and they lose it because of a pandemic that we couldn't predict. But sometimes it really pays off to start looking into other revenue sources, because like you said, you never know when you wake up and things just go awry and you can't save your one business. You know, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
If you don't have a backup plan, or you don't have a second source of income that can at least keep you afloat, or you don't have like someone who can help you, like that's when shit gets really scary.
For real. Yeah, I had a successful cleaning company and I was rocking and rolling. I think I had like 1 or 2 employees and then myself, and I was making good money. I think I was making like $50 an hour or something.
Fantastic.
Yeah, and everything was great. And then I lost 2 accounts at the same time during Christmas to no fault of my own. One just couldn't afford it anymore and did it in-house, and then one outsourced to another cleaning company and underbidded me, and I was like, well, could I come in with a bid and see if it's lower? And they're like, nope, we already signed the contract, you know, boom, boom. And it was just like, wow. So I was like, what am I going to do? You know, a lot of times, you know, a lot of successful CEOs would kill themselves, you know, like who wants to go back to work for someone else, you know, and when you've had that taste of financial freedom and success and not just for yourself, but for other people, to give people a job and an opportunity, and to see them grow and give them a raise, and and everything, and build a team and help people pay their bills and everything. And it's just like, it was so beautiful. And then to lose it all, it's just like, but I went back and worked for someone else. And as much as I hate it, especially the job itself, I was at a call center for an insurance company. So if people got in an auto accident, they would call and, file their claim. And, sometimes it's pretty horrific. People are in the middle of an accident, could have broke their arm, or their child died, or they broke their back, and, and having to, help them through that. It's just like for 8 hours a day, all day.
It's rough.
Yeah. And shout out to my friends that got me through that, because it was just like, that's what I enjoyed, going to work to see my friends. And yeah, I helped people file their claims and, help them save money and other things. But, it's like, it was pretty rough mentally, so.
I feel you on that, man, because I actually, I did collections for a good year and a half-ish, and it's just like, it's tough every day for 8 hours calling people and like reminding them that they're struggling.
For real.
And like, as good as, like, I won't name the company, but as good programs they had to offer people, like, it's still not mentally fun to make those calls and be like, hey, like, by the way, what's going on?
For real.
Where's ours? And like, it's just, that was probably one of the roughest times for me too, because like, like we were talking about mentality, like if you don't look for those silver linings, or you don't, keep that positive outlook, negativity stacks.
For real. It can be crippling.
Yeah, because like you have a
when Corona hit, depression hit me bad. Like I started drinking, and the gyms were closed, so I was gaining weight, and our job sent us home. And so I was like, you think, oh, working from home is great, and yeah, you can find enjoyment, but I mean, I miss, going to work with my friends and going out to lunch, and before work, after work, the gym, all that stuff. So thankfully I was able to, still keep up with some people outside of work, but yeah, it just was like, well, thankfully I was able to just stop drinking cold turkey and lose a little bit of weight on my own, and the gyms opened up, got back in there, and just like, got back to doing what made me happy and stuff. So, but yeah, it was just, it's so much better when you figure out what makes you happy and you work for yourself, because when you wake up working for someone else, it's like, oh man, I gotta go to work for the next 8 or 10 hours or 12 hours or whatever. But when you work for yourself, you're like, hey, there's not enough time in the day. I don't even want to sleep anymore.
Exactly. I think that's something that, because like entrepreneur lifestyle, like, it's not easy.
For real.
It's very demanding. It's very difficult. It's very...
You're trading a 9 for 5 for a 24/7.
Yeah.
But it's totally worth it, because if you want to take a month off,
yeah, you got the freedom.
You can.
The freedom's there. And now, granted, if you aren't on top of your shit, that freedom can be easy to abuse. But it's... I think that people see entrepreneurs and they see that they're more happy, and I think their perception isn't that they're like happy because they're rich. Some of them, sure, but they're happy because they're doing it themselves.
For real.
And there's nothing holding you back from doing it either.
For real. Just your mind.
Yeah, just your mind. Like, who was Jeff Bezos before we knew he was the guy at Amazon? He was another human. He was just a guy who had an idea, and I'm sure he had a hell of a work ethic, and he made it big.
For real.
And now I think he stepped down from Amazon or something like that, and he's, the second richest person on the planet?
For real.
So, like, what if he had the mentality of, like, well, I don't think I can do it. Like, how do you even get an LLC? How do you start a business? You just fucking read. We live in a time period now where, like, we could have an LLC set up by the time this podcast is over. We could watch like 4 videos and have a business going.
For I think like $75 too.
Yeah. We aren't breaking the bank. You know, and a little secret tip for you guys, when you open up your LLC, there's a lot of fun stuff you can do with taxes.
For real.
And get some good tax breaks.
Right off your cell phone, your gas,
Yeah.
your food, 50% alcohol if it's a business meeting.
Those little tricks that the 1% have been doing for a while are very coming into play now that people are sharing those secrets, and you start realizing like, oh, wait, so does Wes have an LLC for the podcast? Can he write off this as an office space and get tax breaks? Yeah. Is that all legal?
This isn't a hobby.
Yeah.
This is a business.
Yeah. You know, it's all legal. That's all stuff you can do. And there's
right off the computers, microphone.
It's all business commodity.
For real.
You know, business assets. Yeah. It adds up. If that water, hey, I gave you some water. That's a business asset today. You know, food, like it's
the gas it took me to get out
here.
Yeah.
You know, joking aside, like all that stuff are things that the rich have been doing and are 100% legal. And we're starting to realize, like, why the fuck aren't we taking advantage of it?
For real. And most of the rich people came from nothing, came from poverty. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Most of them, their parents didn't give them a handout, you know, or they didn't get a large loan from a bank, or if they did, they went through the proper procedures to do that, you know? So, you know.
think of like an area that I always like to talk about is like construction companies. I know like people who own construction companies, and they all started doing the same thing. They were construction workers, and they're like, man, I fucking hate working for these assholes. And then they started their own construction company, and now they're making hand over fist money, and they're an entrepreneur, and they own a company, and they're getting all these benefits. Like, I promise you guys, like, there's a lot that is available to you that is just all benefits. Even if it's, you want to open up a business, like I said, to sell stickers.
And then you can leave that to your children.
Yeah.
So they don't have to go work for some, you know, someone that they don't like. You know, you can create a future for them and be like, hey, run this department or do this. You know, if they don't like it, then go, you know, whatever they want to do that they like. But at least they have an opportunity to come into, you know, a company that's already, you know, been built for them and stuff like that. So it's just like, yeah, it's just like amazing opportunity. It's like, imagine whoever thought of the hula hoop.
Yeah.
I mean, how much money did that probably make? You know,
Did
and
you
it's
ever,
a piece of plastic in a circle.
Did you ever watch the documentary of the guy who made the... Do you remember? I don't even think they have many of them anymore. You remember like going to like the store and they had the 25-cent vending machines?
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember the crazy teeth?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that guy is like worth like $3 million.
For real.
Like, I'm sure a lot of you guys, if you're, you know, 20 plus years old right now, you remember going there and like you'd have like the candy one, like M&Ms. Every once in a while there was one that was like teeth you put in, like there was like rubber and they made your teeth all goofy. That guy's worth $3 million.
For real. And plus too, when you become an entrepreneur, when you do what you think you love, that might not even be your forever job, because then once that frees you up and you get successful, then you can get into what you really love, and you're like, holy shit, you know, no, this is what I really like and really want to get into, and then turn a business into that, and again, you know, get 3 to 7 forms of income, so that way if one goes down, okay, you know.
Well, got the next one. So it's pink. Yeah, that's what we said. Seldom do rich people inherit money. It's something like 75% plus of millionaires are self-made. Yeah. That's what we're saying. Like, it's, you know, if money is your driving factor, start a business. Like, don't get me wrong, you can do the traditional route and make a fuck ton of money, but
there's only so high you can go working for someone else, you know. It's like, and what I think is cool now is, like, you know, the American dream was to be a CEO. But now it's really more turning into being a stockholder, because you look at Warren Buffett and he makes more money as a stockholder than most of the CEOs in the company that he's invested in.
Yep.
And as a CEO, you have all that responsibility and everything like that. So, and with being a stockholder, you have hardly any responsibility other than handling your own money, not let alone all the employees and federal regulations and
Well, and think about the people who go the traditional route. When we think like traditional long-term college people, lawyers, accountants, doctors, what do they all do? They all create their own firms.
yeah.
You know, like I'm sure they'll go and work for a company for a while, but most, you know, doctors and lawyers, they own their own firms. That's the same thing we're talking about. You know, everyone who wants to be that, like, make that millionaire, get into that millionaire mark, gonna probably be self-made one way or the other, and by becoming an entrepreneur.
For real, what I suggest to people nowadays, it's like be an entrepreneur and get yourself financially free from having to clock in to someone else, and then that way take that time to invest your time and money into other things, whether it's stock or land or comics or cars or whatever, and then just keep building your empire.
Pokemon cards on deck.
For real. Because like I like if you look at like was it Elon Musk, when he got his first big amount of money, he didn't go and blow it. He kept living the way he was living until he got his second big amount of money, and then even still, you know, kept reinvesting. So it's like, you know, a lot of the rich people, you don't see them wearing chains and, you know, all this expensive clothing. Usually, you know, they keep it very low key because, you know, they're not worried about blowing the money.
Yeah.
It's like, why are you worried about getting a Lamborghini and $1,000 shoes if you can't afford it? Like, once you get your money, you want to get that and then invest and stack that up. Because if you go and get $10,000, what's the point of blowing it on jewelry and clothes and cars that's not going to make you money? When you could take that money, and if you would have invested into some stocks or some Bitcoin or some land or something that's going to make you money, then boom, if you make, you know, $250,000 or a couple million or something, now you can go and buy a car and own it. You can go buy a whole wardrobe and own it. Like,
well, then not only that, but like when you start getting a bigger stack of money to work with, the opportunities become even larger. It's a scaling thing. You know, so like It's Pink in our chat just said, if a person makes an actual effort to invest their money, contributing $2K plus a month in an investment account that returns 15% a year, will make you a millionaire in 14 years. And that is $2K a month for someone who has 6 or 7 revenue streams really isn't crazy to think about.
For real.
$2K a month for a lot of people is a lot of money. Don't get me wrong. But like...
But again, with baby steps, do 100 a month.
Yeah, start somewhere.
And then eventually 200 a month. It's like how I freed myself from working for someone else was like, I started off small. Like after work, I would go and work for myself, you know, and educate myself, and then get accounts, and then go clean them after work, and then get more accounts, clean them after work, and then I had enough money, I could quit my job, but I was like, no, let me stack some up, so in case one of my equipment falls apart, or my car breaks down, or whatever, and then by the time I left my job, you know, I was secure, I had several accounts, I had some money put back, I had plenty of equipment, you know what I'm saying? You don't want to bite off more than you chew. Like, I remember one of my first strip-in
dream home, whatever that looks like, your dream car, you know, your or what? The stream has no audio. Oh, never mind. Oh, got me scared for a second. You know, if you have your dream car, house, you know, you've done your trips, you've traveled and whatnot. I think a lot of people come back, and there's two routes I see people go. There's that evil route.
Yeah, it's either evil and egotistical,
right,
or it's not.
It's give back. They want to give back to what helps them get there. You know, it's, you know, and I don't want to talk about the evil side because that's a whole different podcast, but like, I really think that when the money starts rolling in, there's two routes you fall under, and a lot of people are starting to choose that route of, hey, well, what if I give people the knowledge that I got, the knowledge that I wish I had 20 years ago, the knowledge that made me rich? It's not a scam, you know?
For real.
But not a lot of people want to believe it.
Yeah. And it's because they've been programmed not to and been beaten down, and you know, just it's, you know, it's hard, but if you're gonna believe in something, you gotta believe in it. You know, it's like, why worry when you can believe? And if you're not gonna take that step, it's just like, you know, believe in a religion. If you can believe in something like that, why can't you believe in yourself?
Absolutely.
You know, if you believe in something outside of you, then why can't you believe in yourself and, you know, do right by you? If you're not happy, how are you going to make other people happy?
Right. It's Pink says, I'm 23 and I projected that in 12 years I'll be a millionaire. If the market has downturns, it'll be 15 to 17 years. I plan on investing heavily and retiring before I'm 50. Yeah, I mean, that's the dream.
For real, which is pretty much the really only way to really go, because if not, if you work for someone else, you just never know when you're going to get fired or laid off, or if they're going to go out of business. You could have put in 10 years and ready to, you know, or put in 9 years and ready to retire, and then they go out of business, or, you know, something. So
yeah, you're working for that 401k that is, it'll be there, but are you going to be happy with like a limit?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, because I talk to a lot of, you know, older people, and I listen to them. They have great advice. You know, I don't know why society, you know, puts the elderly down so much, you know, because it's like they've been through it, you know, especially, you know, some of our greatest generation, you know, people from the 40s and 30s and 50s. We're lucky that, you know, if they're still alive and we get to listen to them. But yeah, it's just like, you know, they think they can retire and they got enough money, and come to find out, you know, it's barely enough money to maybe
survive,
maybe pay the rent.
Yeah.
If you want electricity and food and take your significant out on a date or something, you know, you gotta keep working.
Yeah. See, I would rather I look at the lifestyle and mindset of like, I want to be able to take my trips and vacations and, you know, the dates and have all that fun like now, like when I'm healthy and when I don't have to worry about my body not being able to like function because I'm getting too old.
For real, like how are you gonna go water skiing or jet skiing if you're 80?
Yeah, you know, if I retire at the traditional 64, like 64 is pretty old.
For real.
You know, and the big I don't think that that's ancient, for lack of better words. Like 64, I know a bunch of 64-year-olds who are spry and in better shape than I am probably right now. But, you know,
to wait that long to live your life.
Yeah.
And then you're lucky if you got another 20 or 30 left.
Yeah, and how many of those are going to be good years?
Exactly, at that point, you know, so.
I mean, you could live to 100, but
basically, if you're working for someone else, you're trading, you know, about 50 years of your life to enjoy maybe 20.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're an entrepreneur, I mean, really, it shouldn't take more than 5 to 10 years to really build something solid that's going to make you money while you're sleeping, and then you can live the rest of your life the way you want. That's
the big thing, is like when you get to the point where you have enough sources of income coming in that you're literally making money while you're not working. And that's when you're just like, all right, well, later, guys. Costa Rica sounds pretty fucking cool right now.
For real.
You know, it's just, and I really.
Oh, there's some Bigfoot sightings in Australia.
Yeah,
We're going to Australia,
go.
boy.
Right, let's go. UFO over New Zealand. I'll see you guys fucking there.
For
you
real.
know, I truly don't think that it's. I don't think that that's a super hard thing to achieve.
For real.
I think we're just told that it's hard to achieve. So not that many people try.
For real. Yeah, I think that's why, you know, the 1% don't want you to know how they're doing what they're doing, because then you won't be working for them anymore.
Yeah. I agree with both you, Bieber and It's Pink. Those are great, both great sentiments. Let's talk GME. What's been going on for you?
Heck yeah. Oh my gosh, it's been so amazing. So many amazing things have happened just recently. Like literally in the past like week, we've signed so many new artists that it's mind blowing, and we got a new full-time intern. So I'm so happy and blessed with that. Yeah, I mean, actually, I think tomorrow we're going to be announcing the new artist that we signed. I think what I could say right now in live is that we currently have a male rapper, The Curious, aka Hot Boy 2 times, and then we're getting ready to announce another male local rapper, and then we have for the first time ever a female performing artist who does soul and pop.
Oh.
So I'm like, man, that's so awesome. And
I like that.
For real. And we're kind of getting back into our international roots, because we originally started off with like reggae artists and salsa and a lot of Spanish influence and Caribbean from Florida and everything. So we're reaching back out to a lot of our international people that we started off with, and getting back with them and talking about doing interviews and collabs and features and videos and all this stuff, because you know, in America there's so much rap and hip-hop that's saturated that really the market is more international and in other countries. You know, that's where they really pop off. And I've noticed it's funny because even Hot Boy 2 times, you know, he just released some stuff and he's getting more traction internationally, you know. And so it's like, so I think the future for us, you know, in the next year or two is I would really like to see us do like a tour. And instead of really, I would think that in the next year or two, kind of do like a little American tour, you know, because it's kind of hard to travel right now.
Right.
But once it opens back up, I'm really excited to see us like go to other countries, like go to like Italy or France, or you know, places like that, London or something, because those people, you know, really want to see rap and hip hop artists, you know, and because the ones that are over there, it's not a culture that's been there for a long time as it has over here.
Right.
So I'm really excited for that. So and then my birthday bash is gonna be kind of our first Guerrilla Mafia entertainment show that we've put on in Salt Lake City, Utah. Me and my wife used to put on like week-long festivals in Florida, like drumming festivals, and we had like 20-50 vendors.
Yeah.
And you know, be out in a national forest for like a week, not, you know, a 2-day festival, like a week. So we said this year we want to start off small here, and you know, start doing little events, and start hopefully, if everything goes right, we'll be announcing soon that we're going to be doing, I think, like a 2-day music festival that we're, you know, going to be partnering up with some people out here that have been doing it, and we're really excited to partner up with them because you know, the things they do are always amazing. So we're really excited to be part of that, because it's going to be not just hip hop and rap, but EDM, rock, country, because there's just so much talent out here in Utah. So if you know, anyone that follows us, you know, stay tuned. We got a lot of exciting news coming up soon. But I'm really excited for my birthday bash. We're gonna have, I think, like 8 live performances. We're gonna have some local rappers, and then we're gonna have, I think, 2 female artists. One that's uh, pop and soul, and then another one that's Afro music, and she's from the Congo, if I believe right. So it's like someone from Africa singing Afro music. So
it's gonna be so fucking awesome
for real. And then
when is it?
It's gonna be March 5th. I think that's the Friday. Yeah, March 5th.
Next week.
Yeah, next week. Downtown Salt Lake City. We're gonna have some cosplayers. We got a gentleman and his lady are gonna be Batman and Catwoman, and then we got another gentleman. His lady might be Batman, Catwoman as well, or like Superman and Poison Ivy. They're still figuring it out. We have a confirmed Deadpool that's gonna be. I can't wait because he doesn't just look like him; he sounds and acts like him. So it's like you're hanging out with Ryan Reynolds,
That's gonna be so fun.
For real, he's a cool guy. And I forget his TikTok, but he's really popular on TikTok and has a lot of views and stuff. So it's like he's just a character and just a really good guy, And I've always believed in him and loved him, and love following his journey, because I'm like, bro, you are so into that character that like people could pay you to live your life and just go around, show up to parties or movie premieres or whatever, and just be you, be Ryan Reynolds, but be you being him. I mean, how hard is it to be Deadpool and have a good time? So
looks like you got a question. What's the rap scene like in Europe?
It's I've just been kind of researching recently, and it's like pretty interesting and different. Like the rappers from Europe, it's a cool, for me, different new perspective of. I kind of watched that Ollie G movie a long time ago, and they talk about European rappers and stuff. So, and then rappers from like Korea, they're definitely different, and so. I just love the music scene and different ways of it. So was that the question more of like the rap in Europe or?
Well, he said, "What's the rap scene like in Europe?" So
so it's pretty prevalent, and popular and different styles of it, So. Because like out here we got your gangster rap, your political rap, then your commercial rap,
right?
And things like that. So it's definitely different. So I'm definitely excited to like get more in that scene, and I've never really even thought of that, recently. That I've always been into the hip hop culture, American culture, and for me it always started with the being the political movement, having a message, the 80s and stuff like that. So but yeah, it's like I'm really excited because like when Lil Wayne goes over there, or anyone that I've seen goes over there, it's just boom, so it's a whole nother level.
And like you were saying, like the national scene is so much different, and like there's what could be popular in different countries isn't normally or might not be popular here. So, for example, this was just in the news. I had no idea. You know who Drake Bell is? He did the TV show Drake and Josh.
I don't think
it was like a teen Nick, like I don't know, like just a little like a high school show.
Yeah.
Okay. And Drake Bell was one of the main guys, and he, outside of his acting, he had like a band, and they did like rock type music, but it never really took off here. Like, it was just kind of like, oh, yeah, Drake Bell from that show. Like, oh, he was in a couple movies. Like, he was never really popping,
Yeah.
Well, I just found out recently that he has moved to Mexico, changed his name to Drake Chapa, like a Mexican last name, like legally changed his name. Now is doing shows in Spanish. And he says that he's like a fucking rock star in Latin America right now.
Heck yeah.
Like a straight up, like, his dream rock star lifestyle in South America. And I'm like, who knows what, like, like, just because and I'm sure this is easier said than done, right? Like maybe if you're not popular in Utah as an artist, that might not mean that you won't be popular in Idaho. Maybe that means you might not be popular, or you might be popular in like Texas. Or what if your shit like pops off in, Italy? You don't know until you can get it out there. Yeah.
Yeah. And you want to try and have a good home base, because if you can't make it on in your city, then how are you going to make it anywhere else? But you don't. But everyone's always so focused on their city and blowing up in their city, and it's like, man, imagine if you just look at your SoundCloud stats and and your Instagram algorithms and where your fans are coming from, and be like, hey, I'm really popping off in Spain, or I'm really popping off in Australia. Let me save up some money and go do a show in Australia.
Yeah.
Or let me go do a show in Spain. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of people are like, no, or whatever. And it's just like, you got to think outside the box,
You do. And I think that, now that we can track our analytics so well, like there is strange things like Topshelfers on the back end, like non-live stuff, non-YouTube stuff. I have probably like 20% of my listening base is out of America.
Yeah.
20%. Like I would have, when I started podcasting, I would have never thought that would be a reality. That I have people in like, it's New Zealand, it's Australia, and it's a couple places in, God, I can't remember where specifically, but it's like, I wouldn't have known that my stuff would have been popular in those areas unless I made it available.
For real. I mean, and then you start targeting your audience, the people that are really tuning into you. Then you start catering to them a little bit more and be like, hey, well, thanks for the love and support, and then, and if you miss out on that, then you're missing out on those opportunities,
It's, and I think like doing tours too, like, because I see it, right? Like, because I follow the rap and the industry around here in Utah. Like, I'm not involved in it whatsoever, but I like seeing up and comers and whatnot. And, there definitely is that focus. Like, you have to be big in your home city. And don't get me wrong, I'm sure that's like one of the most important things. But if you're
only focusing on one thing, I think you're only going to get one result.
I think you can kind of equate it to like what we were talking about, like the different sources of income. But like as an artist, like, what if, like, you're super popular here in Salt Lake City, but what if you had these smaller streams of income coming in like different cities? Like, that's all going to pay off in the long run.
Yeah, and I think that's another reason why Caskey's successful, because every year he just would go to every state, on his own dime. You know what I'm saying? Like, that wasn't a Cash Money Productions. That was out of his pocket, and he makes his own merch and, and then sells it and everything. It's just... and then it's like now he's popping off, and people misconfuse fame with blowing up overnight, and it's like he didn't blow up overnight. He's been doing this for 10 years.
Yeah. That's like we talked about earlier. People don't see the grind, because we're so used to like in the instant. They're like, oh, who's this guy getting his 5 seconds of fame? It's like, no, that's the guy who's been grinding hard as shit for 10 years, and he's getting his just dues. People don't want to see that.
For real.
It's Pink says, seriously considering moving to Utah once I'm done with medical school. Love the Moab area. Come out here.
For real.
Utah's pretty rad, man.
For real. I moved out here from Florida just now. It's been over, I think, 7 years. And it's one of the best decisions of my life, because I was a die-hard Floridian, repping my city and, live here, die here. But I saw a better opportunity for me and my family, and I was like, no, I'm going to take it, and it's been amazing. Pre-COVID, there was just so many events every day for networking, just for, Comic-Cons, Fear-Cons, Silicon Valley, all kinds of things going on. So, and then the job opportunities and how safe it is out here. I mean, in Florida, you have your rich areas and your middle class and your, not so safe areas, but it's hard in Florida to find a job making more than $9 or $10 an hour. You come out here, you're making $12, $15 an hour being a Jimmy John's driver, or working at In-N-Out Burger, let alone all the call center jobs they got out here, and warehouse jobs and all kinds of jobs out here. And and it blew my mind when I moved out here. It's like, man, I never hardly see a car out here that's older than maybe 10 years or something, you know. Like almost everyone has a new car out here. Like,
yeah,
you know, obviously it's good out here to live out here and have a business, or even work for someone else until you start your business. Or if you like working for someone else your whole life and don't want to have to worry about building a company and an empire or having employees, or, you know, whatever makes you happy. But, you know, Utah definitely is a great place to, you know, start a business or a family, or come out here and find a great career opportunity. There's great schools out here. The roads are so clean and perfectly, you know, designed and everything that it's easy to get to one place to another. Yeah, you know, it's amazing place out here. And then, you know, the church has brought so many people out here from around the world. That's just a melting pot of different cultures and ethnicities and food and festivals. That's what I miss, is the Chinese festivals, and Mexican festivals,
so fun,
African American festivals and gay pride festivals, you know, whatever, you know, just people getting together and getting out.
That's the thing that people don't see about Utah, because like there's still like the outside source of Utah is like, oh, that's where the Mormons are. Mormons are weird type thing. The reality is, dude, Utah's fun as shit now.
For real.
Like pre-COVID, there was an event every single weekend that was drawing hundreds, if not thousands of people.
For real.
We were finally getting to a point where like big name musicians were coming. Like we had The Weeknd that was coming last year during the summer.
For real.
You know, like everyone who was big was coming. All the comedians. Like
a lot of people are like, oh, why are these big musicians coming on Wednesdays and Thursdays? And it's like, because they're on the way to Vegas or Cali to get the big money, you know, but they're finally coming through Utah because, like, yeah, it's worth it. Yeah. You know, I'll make some money if I go out there.
And, you know, Silicon Slopes was mentioned. Yeah, I mean, we have all the big businesses out here now because our business
tech companies
are good, and Amazon's gonna move out here fully, I think. There's a rumor that I read, and you know, if you go down to Moab, it is so hard to beat nature down in Moab.
For real.
And not only that, but like me and you, like we could literally drive like 12 minutes, and we could be on a beautiful hike up the mountains.
Oh yeah.
You know, like it's I really think someone says, I heard Salt Lake City is going to be an inland port. Yeah, probably.
What's that mean?
Like correct me if I'm wrong, but like kind of like a junction for a lot of stuff.
Yeah, they're building a new international airport.
Yeah.
Or they just got done with it, right?
Yeah, I think that it's finishing up this year.
Yeah.
I heard it's crazy. The stuff that they have there.
Yeah, the parts that I've been through, because this last year in 2020 was one of the most traveled years of my life, and I love the Salt Lake new international airport. Like, I think it's finally done being constructed, but the parts I've been through is so beautiful and artsy and futuristic and beautiful.
Yeah, I think that, you know, if I'll tell people now, like, because I grew up here, and where Utah was like in 2010 to where it's now is light years different.
For real, the United Nations came out here and did their first meeting ever outside of New York City here.
Yep.
And then the Olympics is coming back here. Yep. And it's just like, it's a great place to be. It's very exciting, and it's so beautiful. Like in my line of work, it's easy to have access to celebrities and athletes, musicians, because it's not like that TMZ feel out here, and like people feel safe and usually don't have too much security, or if they do, you know, they're, you know, everyone's respectful and stuff. So it's not, you know, it's just, you know, your celebrities, you know, for Sundance are just walking down the street in Park City like nothing most of the time. So.
Yeah, and Sundance, even though it keeps getting bigger and bigger, it still feels like it's not at the point where it feels tacky yet, if that makes sense. Because, you know, there's like some of those things that got so big that it just feels like kind of tacky. Like I won't say what I think, but, you know, Sundance is still like that homegrown like feeling where you can go and like co-mingle with like bigwigs.
For real.
You know, like you could potentially see Spielberg walking around just chilling.
Yeah. And that's and two, you can see movies there before the rest of the world does.
Yeah.
Like that's where Hollywood picks up a lot of movies, and they're
Yeah.
like, okay, let's run it the way it is, or let's drop another $5 million in it and get Jennifer Aniston or
Yeah.
whoever in it, and add some scenes and whatever, and then boom, then you finally see it. But that's where a lot of connections are made, and I just love being around all the artsy people, whether they're actors and actresses or film directors or photographers or sound. I mean, I was doing security work for Danny Elfman, like every musical score, and every TV show or movie, you usually see Danny Elfman. It's like, man, like
Jack Skellington himself.
For real.
Hey, thanks for the 100 bits, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, I think that Utah really is like, now the bad side of things, right? It's expensive as shit here now.
For real.
If you're trying to get into a house, good luck. And if you're trying to get into an affordable apartment, good luck.
For real.
But the thing is, the opportunities outweigh.
You can still buy land out here cheap.
Yes, you can. We could go. There's land for sale like 50 miles north for like pennies to the dollar.
For real. That's where it's really at. Yeah, you can buy your own home, but if you don't own the land, then it's like, what's the point? So.
How much are the houses? So I live, I don't know, like 12, 13 minutes from downtown Salt Lake City. The house that I'm in now is a 4-bedroom, 2.25 bath, and it's up to probably close to 400 now. And that might not seem like a lot, but it used to be, this house was purchased for $198.
Oh yeah.
If you're looking for like anything from that Salt Lake to like Draper, depending on east side or west side and how many bedrooms, like you're not going to touch anything for under 300 right now.
Yeah, from what I understand, like the new poppin' area is going to be like Ogden.
Yep.
And the areas around that, because a lot of people are still moving out here from Cali or Texas or whatever, and we're Salt Lake's already built out, so I'm hearing like Ogden's gonna be like, pretty much like the new Salt Lake.
Oh, do you get up to like Layton and Clearfield area much?
When I can.
It's all it is now is new homes and apartments.
Yeah.
Everywhere. Oh yeah, it's pink. You live up in Washington, right? Like that's
Seattle, Washington.
Yeah, the Washington area is like. I think the breakdown now is I think California is still the most expensive, and then Washington, Oregon, and then I think Utah is in that 4th or 6th place or something like that. Somewhere around those lines.
Washington's really expensive.
Yeah. I might be looking into the Cherokee Village, Arkansas, $32,000 for a house. Yeah. If you want to go back East Coast, it's super cheap.
For real.
But I'm excited for you, man.
Appreciate it.
I mean, we talked a little bit before the show, kind of like, I don't even know what words to put it, if it's manifesting or if it's, just the positive thinking really is making an impact just on mentality, and the mentality is driving all these amazing things. But, I really think that, like I said on the first episode we did, I really think that you're going to be something special, even more so than you are now in a short amount of time.
I appreciate it. It means a lot because I just try and always stay as positive as possible. It's not always easy, but it's like I've really started coming into the law of attraction, and it works. It's like, the guru of law of attraction is Bob Proctor, and I was like, looking into this, and I was like, man, I wish I could communicate with Bob Proctor. And then like 2 or 3 days later, he likes one of my comments on Instagram, and I'm like, whoa,
right?
Like, what is going on? And then like just before that, like NASA liked 2 of my comments in like a week, and I was just like, what is going on? So it's like anything is possible. You just have to really sit down and focus. And I think one of the things that's been helping me with that is yoga, because like you really have to change your mindset. Like successful people, they became successful because they changed their mindset. Like if you look into any of them, they say they start and end their day with meditation.
Yep.
You know, the amount of time might be different between each people, but it's always, they say, at least 5 minutes or more.
Meditation, journaling.
Yeah,
journaling's huge.
Man, that's yeah. It's like what's that saying? Oh, man, I love it. Something like something about those that take notes. I forget, but yeah, it's just, again, keeping it so simple, stupid. It's just like, you know, writing stuff down and manifest destiny. It's like, you gotta write down where you want to be, and then how you're gonna get there, and then how to implement. Otherwise, it's just a dream.
Yeah.
But you can turn that dream into a reality if you actively, you know, take those steps forward. Again, baby steps, but you have to take a direction, and then you might get so far down the road and then be like, hey, this isn't what I really want to do. I want to do this.
Pivot.
You know, but it's never going to happen unless you start somewhere. But it's just like anything is possible. Anything you could think of is possible, you know, literally. Like, I think you could probably literally walk through the wall if you literally...
yeah, if you
I mean, there's those Chinese monks that, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. They get in that zone, you know? So it's just like anything is possible. And it's like, you know, I haven't really meditated. I mean, I meditate over years, you know, myself. But to really sit down and get into yoga, I think it just helps open things up so much more. And so I'm trying to do it more often. I've been doing it once a week, every week since we've last met. I think I've been doing yoga now ever since we last met. I just started back then. So I've only been doing it once a week, but I've been doing it every week for 2 months, and I notice and can feel a big difference. So I'm excited to start doing yoga eventually, you know, every day.
You want to try something that I got put onto that's pretty interesting?
Heck yeah.
So I got challenged by a good friend of mine. I guess he's kind of my mentor. He's been helping me with a lot of stuff, but positive affirmations.
Heck yeah.
And I'll be honest with you, when I first got told, he's like, just try it. I'm like, just give it like a couple months and see what happens. So what I do is I look in the mirror and I have like a list of things I say to myself. It's like, and it varies depending on the day, but it's like, I am wealthy. I am successful. I am motivated. I am positive. I am happy. I love myself. You know, I have integrity. And I'll do this, and I'll read through my list every morning 3 times, looking myself right in the eyes. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Yoga is very about looking yourself in the eyes in the mirror if you can when you're doing things.
So I'm on my 3rd week. The first 2 weeks, I did not feel a thing. I was like, I felt awkward. I felt uncomfortable. I was just kind of like, why am I doing this? I am just about to finish my 3rd week. There's something to it.
Yeah.
I, for the life of me, cannot explain to you guys what it is. I don't know why. If it's just like all the changes I've been making are kind of culminating and I'm trying to give it credit to something. But there's something to it where I feel like better about who I am right now more than I have for a long time.
That's beautiful. Yeah, and that's how I've been feeling about yoga. I'm like, you know, I haven't done as much as I think I should, but like, it's like anything. I forget. They say that to turn something into a habit, you have to do it, I think, like every day for like 31 days or something like that. But once you do that, then you create that habit that you wake up and you're used to it. Right. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, it's just like anything. It's like if you want to be a professional baseball player, if you want to be a professional writer, if you want to be a professional podcaster, whatever you want to do, just start doing it.
Just be it.
And get into that routine and get it, because you got to rewire your brain, you know, because like we said before, you're taught you got to go to college, you got to do this, you got to do that. This isn't the 50s and 60s anymore. This is 2021, you know? Like,
you can be anything you want to be.
You can do whatever you want, you know? Heck, if you want to change your sexual orientation, you can. Yeah. You know? I mean,
we live in a world where literally, like, I mean, fuck, we're going to be in Mars in like 7 years. The limit, we're so we're so like there's
and I
not
hope we
much
don't
limit.
skip the moon because it's like it takes such a long time to get to Mars. I'm like, dude, I hope we kind of like build an amusement park on the moon like Futurama.
That'd be so sick.
So like on the weekend, be like, hey, let's go to the moon, boy.
Jumping around, driving around in a
Just
little car,
floating around, just hey.
Wasn't that something that they've talked about? Is they want to do like commercializing like.
I don't know. I hope so. I
Space
mean,
travel?
we went there in the 70s, and we never been back. Like, you know, some of the conspiracy theories are sounding true. Like, why didn't we go back?
That would be so sick to just be like floating around on. You know, there doesn't even need to be any rides. I just want to be on the moon, just kind of
For
like
real, just a
jumping
hotel
around.
that you could go in and hit the button and turn off the anti-gravity.
Yeah.
You know, and the bed sheets are like, you know, stuck to the, not stuck to where, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Everything's
yeah.
like proofed so that it's just you floating
floating
around, you know? You watch TV floating around upside down like, yeah, this is Vegas on the moon.
I'm gonna throw a shot of whiskey and see if I can catch it
For
in my
real?
mouth on the other side of the room.
Like stand by the wall, like you know, like when you're in the pool, like Spider-Man, and you push
Yeah.
off. be like pour a shot and push off and drink it.
Oh yeah, there you go. The first commercial flight around the moon will be late next year.
Oh my gosh!
Dude.
Around the moon, so you could see the whole.
You could pay to go fly around the moon next year.
Wow!
Dude, we're living in sci-fi.
For real.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I was hoping in 2020 that we'd have our flying cars. Like as a kid, you know, I always thought 2020 was going to be the best year of my life. And in some ways it was. But in some ways, you know, obviously wasn't. But I'm just like, man, I'm waiting for the flying cars. And it's like, I know it's getting more close to being commercialized. I was reading that, I think in Europe in next year, they're going to start having like their first like carport kind of like
hover cars. In a
yeah,
way.
thing kind of going on and stuff. And then you got your Teslas that, you know, drive themselves. So, you know, obviously it's scary, you know, think of a car driving itself or flying itself in the air. But
It'd be strange.
yeah, you know, because if it malfunctions or something, that's totally out of your control. But yeah, I mean, we'll just see. But I'm excited for the future. I think you know, it's anything. Perception is reality. So if you're scared of the pandemic or you're scared of, you know, murder rates or crime rates or anything, then yeah, you're scared. But you know, if you don't focus on, you know, the horrific side and yeah, you plan for it or, you know, make a backup plan or whatever, but focus on the good, you know, and then that's what you're gonna do. You know,
Absolutely.
if you look good, you smell good, you feel good, then you do good.
It's
You know.
as simple as that sounds, it is so fucking true.
For real.
I
Like a bottle of cologne just changes your life.
Dude,
for me. It's like
you just
I smell good. I feel good.
I think one thing that I've noticed the older that I'm getting, like the things that we would consider like cliche statements are the most true.
For real.
You know, and it's just, I don't know. It's a fun time to be alive.
For real.
Well, let's hit on, so we talked GME, we dabbled a little bit about Iris Place, and then are you doing anything paranormal? I know it's tough in COVID land with your other, I forget what your paranormal team's called.
Yes, Stone Paranormal. My wife's a natural psychic medium, and she doesn't need like cards or palms or any of that. She can just, you know, read you or like get a message from an ancestor. And you know, I know a lot of people think it's phony baloney, but you know, I've seen her change people's lives every time she interacts with someone. You know, so and we've, you know, we're not sitting there trying to make money off of it. We're just doing it because that's what we do, you know. But yeah, we're I think we just completed our 3rd or 4th season, and altogether, like on our YouTube, we have like over 147 episodes we were just looking at that have been completed now, and several seasons of different shows. But I think that show's now been 3 or 4 seasons, and we're getting ready into planning this year. We're really trying. I really would like to see us get to Skinwalker Ranch. From what I understand, it's under new management. That could be. Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So it seems like they're really opening up to the community. So I want to get in where I fit in. Because we actually went out there one time a few years ago before they had bought up a lot of property and pushed the security stuff so it was harder to get towards the ranch. We went back when it was more public property. You could see the ranch right there. And it was so amazing because we went to skinwalker.org and they tell you the different kinds of things that you could likely experience and then the likelihood or percentage of you actually experiencing it. And we experienced almost everything on that website. It wasn't like, you know, planning something in our mind. No, like as soon as we got there, we got out of the vehicle and we heard that there was, you know, large electromagnetic fields. So we downloaded the apps on our cell phone, and sure enough, we put it down there, and it's, you know, it's something you can't imagine in your mind.
Yeah.
You know, and then next thing I know, we hear it sounded like two helicopters just chop, 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 and come closer, closer over our head and gone, but you didn't see it.
Dude, I still to this day, because I've done a lot of the paranormal ventures around Utah, and there's something weird about Skinwalker. Like, I don't know if I told you last time I was here, like, I have a weird picture and a couple other things, but, dude, like, I always tell people, like, the one time I went up, like, I've gone up there 5 times total, and 3 of them, like, just kind of nothing crazy happened. One was the time we got the video and the picture that looks like something, some sort of weird creature. And then the other time, like, the whole time it just felt like if, like, someone was standing on my shoulders. It felt like I was getting, like, pushed into the ground. Right. And I don't know what it was. Like, and I had been there before. It wasn't my first time there. I'd never felt it before. But just that experience, and it, like, for the whole time I was there, I just felt like the best way I could explain it is if, like a 6-year-old was just standing on me the whole time I was there. And I'm like, dude, what is this? I don't know. It's just,
for real.
The place is creepy.
And now with modern technology and everything, it's so much funner and cooler because now you can see things that you couldn't maybe have seen if you paranormal investigated 10 years ago or even 5 years ago, because, you know, technology is always advancing and everything. So it's just so exciting because it's like, why fake shit? You know, if you don't catch anything, then it's just a documentary. And then when you do catch shit, it's like, oh my God, real. Like, this is real. Like,
that's how I look at it too, is because, like, I don't know. I'm sure you're familiar with Ghost Adventures.
Oh, yeah.
And I really think that for a long time, they were generating real shit. I think they were coming with real content. And now I'm worried that, like, are we getting real content from them?
Right. And because now you have to produce so many shows a season. Yeah. And if you don't get content in 5 episodes, then what are you going to do for those 5 weeks or whatever?
It's hard for me to think that every time they go to a place, they capture something now.
Yeah.
You know, because that's like, I've been to probably 40 different places, and I think I've only ever captured 2 things that are maybe something, and maybe is a stretch. So, like, I don't know. I like what you said, though. Like, it's either a documentary if you go and you don't find anything, or if you find something, it's like, hey, we got some evidence.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why I love doing it. So, we should stay in touch because we should see if maybe we could do a joint thing for Skinwalker.
I would love to.
For real, because it's like, I really want to do that. And then, like, I'd really like to go to Area 51 and camp out on some of the, like, surrounding areas, because I heard, you know, if you're there for like a couple of days, like whether it's them testing or, you know, the area or whatever, that you're gonna, you know, see something. But I'd like to do that because both of those are local. But there's this other place that's in another country, I forget the name of it right now, but it's like this place that has a lot of orbs, and like anyone that goes there just automatically catches tons of orbs.
Really?
Like, it's not a problem, but yeah, it's, again, like, I'm really excited in the next, like, 2 years for us to start traveling, like, international, like, go cover, you know, something like a castle in England or something, like.
Call sign Monk, you're thinking of Dugway. Yes.
Yeah, Dugway.
I've been to Dugway, like,
for real,
a dozen times now, trying to see if there's anything crazy going on. A couple times there's been weird shit. I'll be honest with you. My good buddy who used to do this show with me, he has one of the weirdest experiences that I've ever heard. Okay, he went with my other buddy who's been on. It's Forrest and Chandler. If you guys know him, you know him. they went out there one night to go hang out and like see if they could find anything in Dugway, and don't remember the time frame, but they were out there like, and they showed up around midnight, and then like a couple hours into it, they both got really tired, and they had energy drinks, like they had Dick and Rockstars and stuff, and he said they both fell asleep and woke up like 30-40 minutes later, almost at the same exact time.
Damn.
It's weird, right?
For
like
real.
they weren't going to bed, but they just like, he said like it almost felt like, he's like, I can't really remember everything, but it kind of felt like we passed out.
Damn.
Why? I don't know. It's just weird though.
That's gotta be scary though, missing time. Be like,
yeah,
what happened in those 30 minutes, or what people experience like 2 hours or a day or whatever. Like,
that's a UFO thing, right? Is like you miss time if you, it's like 8 or 7 seconds potentially if you are with like a UFO's around you because like magnetic field or something. I don't know. It's all crazy world, but no, I would love to do a joint effort in Skinwalker, and then Area 51 would be a blast.
For real.
And I did storm Area 51.
Oh, you
I went
did?
to that event. Yeah.
Heck yeah! What was that like?
It was, I don't know. It had a lot of potential. So how it went down is we went out. Then we were driving out, and the first night that it was happening, we decided to go to Vegas and stay the night because we were tired, and we didn't think anything was going on. But I guess that's when a lot of people were out there, like, having fun and partying. When we showed up, it was still pretty busy. They had like some sellers and some like booths set up, and like Bud Light was out there, and like Arby's and different things like that. And they had a stage, and they played music at night. But it was just kind of like it turned into like a festival.
Heck yeah.
And we went up to the gates that were supposed to be stormed, and said what's up to the guards, and they were all just kind of like, oh, what's up? Like they were geared to the tits. Like they had machine guns and like ready to pop off if like something really happened. But they were all having a good time too, like
Heck yeah.
smiles and goofing around, and then it was fun. And I really wish that, because that was 2019, they all said that they were going to do it again next year in 2020, but I think with COVID, they probably just wasn't possible, and now I don't think that it's gonna fall back. What I am bummed out about, and for reasons that I wish I could have like made like a video, Riley Reid showed up. If you guys don't know who that is, she's a famous actress on the Hub, and it would have been super cool to have gotten like a video with her and been like, oh shit, like storming Area 51 with the Hub model, like it would have just been funny.
For
and
real.
That's great content.
And that's again why you follow your dreams, because
Yeah.
you go to follow your dream for one thing, and then something else just
Yeah.
comes in. Like I remember like going to watch my first Nicki Minaj concert, and I worked so hard and paid so much money for front row tickets and a hotel and travel and everything, and you can plan so much. But then when I got there, the girl that was sitting next to me was like, you really like her, huh? And I was like, yeah. And she's like, I'm a groupie, I'm a roadie, like I follow her, I know I can get to her and stuff like that. She's like, if you want to meet her, I'll help you meet her. She's like, just follow me like 2 songs before the concert's over. And so like 2 songs before it was over, like she knew what, this playlist was or whatever, because she'd just, been to her last show.
Yeah.
And she's like, all right, we gotta leave now. And I was like, all right. And I trusted her, and I followed her, and she started talking to people and got us to like where Nikki's bus was and stuff. And so we stood out there and we waited for about an hour, like probably like 20 minutes into, a security guy came out and was like, oh, Nikki's already gone. Y'all are just wasting your time. And like 5 minutes later, this girl was like, oh my God, Nikki's on Instagram right now back there playing basketball. She's still here. And I didn't have an Instagram back then. That was the whole reason I even got on Instagram, because my friend, shout out to Tony Marie, T Marie. She was like, yeah, if you create an Instagram account, help you follow Nikki and see if she'll follow you back and stuff. And so that's how I even started my whole Instagram career, was at Nicki Minaj's
crazy.
Pink Print, creating it, during the concert,
And then 55,000 followers later, and look where we're at.
For real.
You know?
And yeah, and then, I ended up meeting her and everything. She security. This one gay gentleman was so beautiful and funny. He's just like, we gotta pass the time. Let's start singing her songs. And he started singing one of her songs, and we ended up singing probably almost all her songs or something. Then we started repeating maybe like 2 of them or something. And then a security guard came out and was like, all right, Nikki's gonna come out and she'll hang out with y'all, but if y'all act like animals, I'm gonna tell the driver to go. And so the gentleman was like, everyone shut the fuck up, Nikki's coming out. And she came out and she hung out with us and took a group picture. And then sure enough, my phone died right as she was coming out. I got a selfie of Nikki's car right behind me, but you couldn't see Nikki. So I'm like, man, no one's gonna believe me. And I'm like, hopefully Nikki will post a picture, because she always posts pictures of her and her fans. And especially we took a group photo with her professional photographer, and I didn't see it for a few days. So I reached out to Tony, and she sent it to me, and I was like, bro, how does she have the picture? Like, the only people that had it was the photographer or Nikki.
Chase your dreams.
For real.
She was about it.
And then I was like, here you guys go that didn't believe me. There's Nikki, 2 people in front of me. Like, there's a security guard, then my friend, female, and then me. And there's Nicki Minaj. And, like, you can't even plan for that shit. But,
No.
But that's the thing, is you follow your dream, and it could end up 10 times better than you ever even imagined.
Right. You went to the concert and you didn't have any expectation of being anywhere around her, and next thing you know, you have a beautiful picture of you, a friend, and Nicki Minaj within arm's reach.
For real. And then we were hanging out with Ray Sherman before they
no
blew up. Yeah, because they were opening for her. And so they're like, hey, you guys want chicken and pizza? They'd ordered a shitload of chicken and pizza and shit. And we're like, hell yeah. You know?
That's so dope.
For real.
It's Pink says, if you like gun shit, I'm Pacific Pinker on IG. Love the stream, guys. Been following. Yeah, you've been following for a long time. Thank you for the love, man.
Heck yeah. And someone said off topic, but what is Irie's place? It's our restaurant, West Jordan, Utah. 3961 West, 9000 South. We got over 85 different kinds of coffee, 85 different kinds of tea, and over 200 different boba flavors.
Yep. I've been dabbling more and more into the boba.
For real, we even got the Caskey. Because he came in and he was like, what's your favorite drink? And I was like, the Elvis, because it tastes like peanut butter and jelly and banana, like his favorite sandwich. So he was like, all right, let me try that. And he's like, I never had one before. And it blew his mind. He was like, man, this tastes like peanut butter and jelly and banana. So, but we gave him extra peanut butter and we put some caramel in it. You know, made it a little bit different, a little bit, you know, sweeter and stuff. And so we're like, now it's on the menu, like, hey, you can have the Elvis or the Caskey or the 420 B-Boys. Shout out local rap group. We got them a custom-made boba. We were talking a little bit earlier. I was interviewing a marijuana plant. We did their global world premiere at our restaurant. And their fans came in every minute for like 5 hours. It was like, wow.
That was one of the funniest things that I've ever laughed at. Was you interviewing the fucking marijuana plant.
For real. Like, damn, this guy will interview anything. Even an inanimate object.
Yeah, I just dropped a follow on you. Your page is pretty dope. Love it.
Heck yeah, that's what's up.
Who doesn't like a little bit of guns? They're fun. It's fun to go shoot.
For real. I love guns. I don't advocate gun violence, but definitely, you know, protecting yourself and your family.
And it's a fun hobby to get into.
For real.
Shooting is challenging, and it's a lot of fun to learn. Like, I'm bad at shooting, but it's just so fun. And it's a stress relief for sure.
Oh, for real, for real.
Sure. Well, shit, man. Where else can everyone find you? Like, aside from what you just plugged, where else can people follow you, find your content, and, you know, where can people go show you love?
Heck yeah, appreciate it. Yeah, just check out our social medias. We're on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Snapchat as Guerrilla Mafia Entertainment, LLC. Our website, our groups. And yeah, we're just always, you know, filming and covering stuff. If you need any production needs, if you need music videos shot, if you need help with managing or boosting your social media, We help put you in front of our audience, and just there's all kinds of stuff we offer now. Basically, what I've been telling people right now is we got the blueprint. If you want to be famous in any industry, whether it's the music industry, the financial industry, like if you want to be a TED Talk speaker or do a Google Talk, if you want a book written about you and be a New York Times bestseller, anything you could want, we can offer and take care of. And when I say we have the blueprint, we don't just get you in, you know, high publications and interviews. Like, we have a reason for it, and you know where we want to get you within 8 to 12 months. But you know, basically, you know, whatever, you know, industry you want to be well known in, we can help make that happen, you know, with pretty much any kind of budget. Obviously, you know, you want to spend more than a couple $100 a month, but you know, anywhere, you know, between, you know, a couple $100 a month to $3,000 or $4,000 a month, you know, the more you invest in yourself, the quicker you'll get there. So
absolutely,
yeah, anyone that needs any help, you know, with anything entertainment industry related, or like I said, whether you're in the financial industry, in the food industry, anything you want to be well known in, we can help make that happen at GME. If you're thirsty or hungry, come to our restaurant. We're going to be doing music festivals soon, with a combination of, you know, with all that too. So we'll be the official drink sponsor and all that. So there's just a lot of great things coming up this summer. Just stay tuned. You know, we're going to be getting back to having art classes and art nights at the restaurant, doing charity events. Hope to see y'all at my birthday bash this weekend, and I can't wait to announce the new artists that are signed to our production company. I'm so excited, and you know, can't wait. We're going to be working on an American tour and then an international tour. So yeah, everything's just getting bigger and better. If you want to, you know, join the team, we got a brand new intern that just started today. So you know, we're always looking to help bring on people and help them network and build up their resume so they can, you know, come into this and start getting paid and having experience and contacts and all that. So yeah, you know, we're a big family with our production company. Absolutely. So we're always trying to grow and add more beautiful people to it. So
I like what It's Pink says, and we can close out on that. Hustle. A true American doesn't work for others. He works for himself in the pursuit of helping others.
For real. Heck yeah, that's beautiful.
Yep, I couldn't agree more.
For real.
I'm going to close out with my ad read. For those of you who've been following for a long time, the podcast is sponsored now, which is super exciting.
Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
That's a beautiful accomplishment.
Yeah, it was a long time coming, and it felt good to finally secure a sponsor for the show and, you know, take that direction. Hopefully it will lead to bigger and better things. But
exactly.
Dreams, guys, they come true if you work at them.
For real. Believe in yourself.
Believe in yourself. Again, this episode was sponsored by Happiest, the #1 place to go for premium CBD that's not going to break the bank. It's locally owned and sourced here in Utah. And it's safe for work, meaning there's no THC. They have something for everyone, and I even have right here my personal one, the #2 broad spectrum. It's amazing. It's a daily use. I'm going to continue to buy it even if I'm not sponsored. Head over to happiestmed.com. That is HEPIUSMED.com. Thank you everyone for watching live and everyone on the back end, and I'll catch you guys next week.